Welcome to Jump Carib TV. This is your host, Brother B. Black people, this is a message for you. Those protests out in Los Angeles, please stay home. Don't go out there. Don't join these protests. This one is not your fight. They're waiting for you to come out there because they want to blame everything on you. And they're going to try everything to upset you to get you out there. But the main thing you have to understand is that you're being asked to come out there to join the protests for what I don't know, because you try to help Latinos by telling them what the 2025 plan is or was going to be, and they did not listen. On boats, all kind of things you could watch, and you see them dancing, singing, and telling you who and how they were going to vote for the election, and they did. So now that there is mass deportations, they can't try to blame you because you're not coming out to protest. This is not a fight that you're going to join. You're going to stay home and advise them from home. I understand that there are times when people have to protest. I get that. But it does not mean that you have to go out there. You don't have to. This is the one you're going to stay home and you advise from home. So, we are expert at protesting because we have done so many of them. So we are experts. You name it, every year we're out there 2-3 times. Big protest because of various injustices that might have happened to Black people, and we're out there protesting. So the advice I have to give those who are asking us to come out there.
I just want to say, watching these raids happen in LA right now, people voted for this. People voted for this. And I think right now, the Black and the brown community, we need to come together. And we need to remember that they are the ones who made it us versus them. They put us against each other because if we're busy fighting each other, we don't put our eyes on them. We need to wake up. Everybody needs to wake up.
Number one, it's your constitutional right to protest. But the key here is protest peacefully. And I repeat, protest peacefully. If you are not protesting peacefully, then you're inviting problem and trouble to yourself. So that's lesson number one. Number two, if you're protesting, you have to stay the course. You cannot go out there one day and protest and then disappear the next day. You have to stay the entire course until mission accomplished. If you leave before the mission is accomplished, then they're going to implement whatever they're going to implement, and you're going to suffer the consequences. So you have to stay the course long term and do it peacefully. And the third thing is, do not, and I repeat, do not engage law enforcement. They are there to do a job, which is to keep the peace. And they're going to do their job. You're there to protest, so do that peacefully. Law enforcement, if you engage them, try to fight them, they're going to win. So do not engage law enforcement. Do your thing peacefully and do not engage them. Do not start a fight. Just go about your business peacefully and they will handle their business and you handle yours, and there will be no problem. Okay, so that is lesson number 3. There are other things that I could add to the list, but make sure you follow those 3 things when you go out there to protest. So, Black people, Latinos are asking us to come out there and join the protest. They're saying they want their Black brothers and sisters to come out and help them to protest. Now, as I said before, this is not your fight. You try to help them, you explain everything, and they didn't listen. So now that they voted the way they want to vote, and now they're suffering the consequences for their actions, they're trying to get us involved in that situation. Now, once you go out there and join this protest, they're going to look for one Black person who does something wrong, whether or not they broke a window or something. And they're going to make that thing so bad, like it's all Black people are out there vandalizing and damaging property and doing all that kind of stuff. And then they're going to be justified in putting law enforcement on you to crush you. So do not, I repeat, do not join this protest. Stay home. Stay home and do not join this protest, because they want you to come out there. They're doing things to induce you to come out there. But this is not the one, because you help at the polls. That's where you help. And your help was not appreciated at the polls. So now they're trying to blame Black people because you're not coming out to protest. You know what they're saying? Join them to protest because Black people will be next. Are you kidding me? Black people will be next. Black people are first, second, third, fourth, you name it. So we can't be next. We're always first. We have been suffering injustices from a long time, and that's why we become expert at these protests, because we're always out there protesting and fighting. And let me tell you something. If you're protesting for a real cause, people will join you. Take the George Floyd situation, for example. Look in the crowd. There were white people there. A lot of white people were there protesting because they saw what happened. They saw it in real time. And they came out and they protest with Black people. Now, if you have a legitimate cause to protest, you go out there, Latinos, and you protest. And people will join you if they see it necessary to join you. You don't have to call out Black people and saying, if we don't come out and join you, we're going to be next. Trust and believe me. We're not worried about that because we're always getting targeted for different reasons, and we always have to protest. Whether or not it's a bad apple in law enforcement, don't get me wrong. I love law enforcement. Okay? Most of law enforcement are great people, but there's always a bad apple who does bad things and put a black eye on law enforcement. So I'm not blaming law enforcement for everything that goes bad. But at the same time, you have to be aware that if you go out there, they're going to target you and they're going to make an example of you. So don't go out there just because someone calling you out, because They want you to feel guilty for what they're going through because of the way they voted. You have nothing to do with that. You show them everything, you tell them everything, and they didn't listen. So now, don't let anyone blame you for what they're going through. They have to blame their folks who voted the way they voted. Black people, not all white people are racist. And if you look back on history, there are always white folks who are always trying to help black people. So not all white folks are racist. They're very good people who will look out and white people tend to, not like bad stuff. And I guess if you do bad stuff, then of course they're not going to support you. But there's a very rich white guy who's trying to induce us to come out to these protests. And he's suggesting things like getting rid of, the black libraries and, history and stuff like that. Things that are dear to us. And he knows that if they mess with stuff like that, it's going to make us angry. And he's trying to do stuff and say stuff to make us angry so we can come out to these protests. Because they want us to come. They want to put the camera on us. They want us to do one bad thing so they can amplify it and make us look like all bad people. Because if it's one thing, they're going to do what they do with it and make it seem like all of us are out there destroying property and all manner of bad things. So do not join this protest, okay? And don't feel guilty for what another group of people did. They did it to themselves. Some of them cannot even show up at work anymore because, there are raids everywhere. Raids on the farms, raids at hotels, raids at schools. They're raiding everywhere. But it's not our fault. And we are not going to feel guilty about it because we were trying to say these things are going to happen. And they didn't listen. I saw people in a boat and they're partying and they're singing and, they're going to vote the other way and this and that and no matter what. But the sad thing about all this is that these people thought that miraculously the mass deportation was going to take place and they were not a part of it. They were just going to go around and pick up other people except them. That's what they thought. And they went ahead and voted the other way. And now they're realizing that they're a part of it. And now they're saying that that administration betrayed them. But didn't they betray the administration that gave them TPS, temporary protection status and all of that? There was one administration that did that. But they voted against the administration that gave them all this protection. So why is it now they're crying because they're not exempt from what's going on? That's what they thought was going to happen. Nobody was going to touch them. They were just going to go around and look for criminals. And they're not a part of, the mass deportation and all of that. Really? So now that you realize that you're a part of it, now you're regretting your vote. And now you want to blame black people for not coming out and protesting with you because you made a bad decision. You need to blame your folks. They're the ones who voted that way. And you're the ones who thought that you were not going to be a part of the deportation process. You thought they were going to deport other people, other groups. but you were exempt. And now that you found out that that's not the case, you're all crying, you're all doing all manner of things, and then you want us to come out and put our bodies and our lives on the line to support people who don't support themselves. No, we can't do that. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the end. Stay tuned and look forward for more broadcasts. I'll be coming on more often now. I want you to like, share, and subscribe, and help this channel to grow, and we can grow together. So until then, peace out.